psychologically. Hey YouTube, it's Leah Lauder, your favorite mega church cult survivor, and I'm here, I'm live. I'm also live on TikTok as well at the same damn time, and we're going to go live on Insta as well. And we were just talking about the imposter syndrome and feeling like you're not good enough. And when you come out of the cult, you know, there can be a lot of layers to unpack and a lot of healing to do. I think it's about letting go, trusting in whether it's God, the universe, yourself, Allah, Jesus, whatever it means, whatever's personal to you. It could be self, and just have the confidence, you know, in our value, in who we are, in our potential. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we all have potential, we all have gifts. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has gifts. Grand rising. And because they put us all in a box, it can be quite hard at times. Do you know what I mean? To kind of get our identity back and our value. And that's where we were talking about the imposter syndrome. But it is all about going within to find the value and our own potential. And no one can dictate that to you. And no one can tell you what that looks like for you. So I think it's just really about moving into like self-love, loving yourself completely, facts on facts. But today, guys, try and just do up positive thinking, even if negative things come your way in the reality that you can see, because this is a 3D reality. Just if this resonates with you, let he who has an ear hear what I'm saying. Yeah, if today this resonates, you don't have to understand. If within what I'm saying is resonating with you, do like a vision board, journal, write down what your future looks like to you today. Really visualize it. You know, you can light a candle, or you can just be in stillness, just thinking about it. It's really important to visualize, because we shape and frame our worlds. And today's a special day, so I thought I'd share it with, you know, those of you that are interested. Yeah. And you know what I think we need to let go, because it's like in these church cults here, it's like forced to do recruitment, forced to do the meeting, the prayer, the outreach. It's like, it's so calm down, babe. Relax. Do you know what I mean? Take it easy. Not too forceful, man. So we need to let go. Just not let it be forceful. Babe, when you see me, you see Dag Heward Mills, yeah? Whenever you see me, you see a man called Dag Heward Mills. My name might as well be called Leah Heward Mills, because he indoctrinated me to see him like daddy. Hey, EKSG. So it's always going to be Dag. Because the reason I'm here, the reason I'm on the internet today, the reason I come on here every day, the reason I'm disabled with chronic kidney disease and Addison's, and the reason I have CPTSD and I've got BPD is because of a man called Dag Heward Mills, and also his husband David Antry from Caris. That's why I'm on here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my queen Ines. Happy birthday to you. I love you, Queen Ines. And also, it was her birthday yesterday, but we're just going to celebrate it today, because she doesn't like saying it's her birthday and whatever. So we're going to celebrate it for her today, yeah. All right, baby girl. Let me see if I can find a candle to put it in a little muffin later, Ines. Actually, I'm sure I've got a candle there. We'll do that later, chair. And I'm just going to speak blessings over Ines' life. When I light the candle and I speak the blessings over Ines' life, that will happen. In the name of Jesus, Jesus, amen. Even though I'm doing the candle, I will say Jesus, Jesus, and then it is fine. All right? That's the kind of stuff they do up in there, chair. There's no common sense. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I'm here to talk about. I'm just here to talk about my experience, really. Hi, Instagram. It's Leah Lauder. I'm live on TikTok and I'm live on YouTube. And I'm not going to get drawn out by the trolls today. I'm just going to do up comedy. That's all I'm going to do up. Just PISS out of all of them, really. That's what I'm going to do up, because men are care. You know them ones. But guys, seriously, we don't need to force things faster than how or when they're meant to happen. But when we're in the church cult, there's a target for everything. There's a deadline for everything. There's a goal for everything. It's bums on seats. It's souls. It's constant targets. And if you're in a setting and this is how it feels, and you're feeling anxious, because Soft Life told us about anxious bond. Sent in HJ in the car. What are you telling me, brother? You get me? So that's another survivor in the cup. So it's like everything is very forceful. There's no time to just relax. I think some of us feel guilty when we're just not doing anything. The body needs to relax. We need to regulate our nervous system. Part of that, like I think Soft Life. Thank you, Queen Ines. And if you haven't seen the live, go on YouTube, guys. I'm gonna put up the highlights today, because Soft Life is also a survivor and a qualified therapist and a specialist in her area. So she came on and shared so much with us. Honestly, it was really life-changing. I sound like the pastor. Oh my God. But the difference is I really mean this from my heart. I mean, I'm talking from my soul, from my heart and soul. We need to become comfortable with rest. Yes. I feel like I sound like the first lady, but do you know what it is, guys? You know, whenever I've done any kind of talking, public speaking, whatever, this filter is filtering on Instagram, innit? Share. Anyway, you know, so it's always been like in a religious institutional setting. So guys, let me know if it's a bit triggering. You know, the trolls come on and then when they can't get it luck off, they just leave, and it's like, why'd you do that? Like, it's so crazy. All right. So the main message for today, yeah, because I feel like I want to do like this thing before, where there's like a nice message for us to maybe focus on, or, you know, meditate on, or whatever, because we're all like, everybody's of different faiths, different beliefs, in different spaces. So I just think if we have a universal time where we all just do it in our own way, whatever you do, whatever practice, but just time to just appreciate us as a collective, as ourselves, for how far we've come. You know, we don't need to force things to happen faster than when it's decided for us. So there's also that vibe of acceptance and contentment. We need to learn from our experiences as well. Yeah. And take small steps. We just need to take small baby steps. And then that could be in faith, that could be in yourself, in whatever, for us to be able to succeed, because they teach the reverse in these church cults. Everything is, and it becomes, do you know what? We become desensitized to mind-altered and sleep-deprived states, because they need you in mind-altered, sleep-deprived, trance-like states to be able to indoctrinate you easier. Because remember, the narcissist doesn't really know anything, the cult leader. They recruit people really young. Like usually the cult leader started really young, and then the people that started with him were really young, like just, you know, spiritually psychotic, aka zealous young people that started these cults, and they had no time. I don't really think it matters, you know, whether they have theology training or not, really, to be honest, because when that money starts rolling in, you know, Bishop Francis Sarpong of, is it Christ, a Charismatic Baptist Church or whatever, he's done all the theological training, but here he is with his ABUSE rhetoric at the CTA, catch the anointing. So me, I don't go by all of that things. Like, people come on and they're like, oh yeah, they need a theology. I'm just like, baby, if that's what you feel, that's up to you. Because everybody's got different thresholds. For me, my threshold's high, because 18 years, married almost 10 years in a celibate marriage with, you know, my ex-husband wasn't the worst, but he just got so comfortable, because compared to what because the men are cheating on the women in there, they're putting hands on, they're doing so much, all of it. Do you know what I mean? That even when yours is so bad, the pastors, you know, when I was telling the pastors about the things that were going on in my marriage, you know, my pastor's wife turned around and said to me, oh, Leah, it's not that bad. You have a good marriage. You have a good husband. Look. And then she was telling me like I'm lucky, and, you know, like if I was to sit here and tell you about the things that the married couples are going through, she's like, the amount of husbands that are sleeping with all different women in the church, outside of the church. I was like, whoa. So you have just devalued my whole experience. Another thing as well is, I think that, and guys, I've got to say AFRICAN women, just because I am coming from a Ghanaian fundamentalist Christian cult. All right, that's where I'm coming from. So if I was in Hillsong, if I was in you know, whatever, UCKG, I would be talking about Portuguese people, I'll be talking about, but I was with the Ghanaians. I was moving around in these streets saying I was half Ghanaian and half Lebanese. And then my ex-husband is, hey KJ, my ex-husband is Nigerian and my kids are half Nigerian. So I see myself as an African woman. Yeah. I just need to say that before I do. What was I saying? Oh, guys, I've totally lost it. It's like I feel like I have to do that speech because I have to also like have the awareness that a lot of people see me like a oyinbo or like an Obroni. Like people, they don't see me as even like a black woman at times. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because of the colonization and just the indoctrination, you know, the colorism, just all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's been a lot of work that I've had to do, but I can't even remember what I was saying up. That's the ADHD. Yeah. Oh, is it? Do you know what? It was Nas that was like, oh, Leah, I think you should go and look into like getting in a set. It was Nas that pushed me to do it, you know. And I was like, we were just vibing, and I was like, oh my God, like, why do we get along so well? Like, why does this flow so well? And why do we, you know what I mean? Like, and then I started realizing, because I've been like chatting more to like most of the survivors are neurospicy, innit? It was what you were saying before that. Yeah, do you remember? I can't remember, Chair. Do you get what I'm saying? It's completely gone. But yeah, and then I started to realize that like with neurodivergent people, we just flow. I get on with them more. Do you know what I mean? I wish I'd never put this filter on Instagram, but it is what it is. It happens to you all the time. Yeah, I just forget. It just goes, Chair. And you know what? It's because of the trauma. It's so much, man. I was going to say something about the women in there. What was I saying about the women? I was getting to that point. I was getting to a really good point. It will come back. You were talking about speaking to the church about you. Yeah. Thanks, Kuro. So what I was saying, oh, you're a G. What I was saying is that with the women from that diaspora of the world, yeah, they've experienced so much ABUSE. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like they've become so desensitized that when, like a lot of the women from that place, they don't even know that they're experiencing psychological ABUSE and emotional ABUSE and neglect. Do you get to what I'm saying? For the point where if your husband hasn't touched you for like 2 years, if you've been married for 30 years and your husband hasn't even like made you feel like a woman for 10 years, then that is a fundamental problem. That's why I don't understand why these so-called mogs are coming in. They haven't blown out their wife's back for years. And they're coming in and celebrating 30 years of marriage and this and that and making it look like it's like a trophy and an achievement, but they're not happy. And if that man did not have ministry, that he was using the church like an extramarital affair, he's no different, because if he didn't have the congregation, he'd be outside. Do you see what I mean? That's why God says sin is sin, and he who is without sin to cast the first stone, because these people that are attending these spaces, they're no different than addicts. They've just exchanged the addiction with the prayer refill, the fasting for a month. The you know, like guys, when Hannah comes on, yeah, I would spend like 4 hours on the phone to Hannah. She had me and another girl who were literally on the phone to this girl 24 hours a day. We used to go to her house, pick her up. This is not sustainable, but we're doing it because we've got targets. We've got to get the people in. The house has to be filled. There's such a pressure. We can't do that. That's not sustainable for years and years. So when the pandemic hit, that's when it all fell apart, because everyone started to struggle with their mental health. And then we couldn't be there for Hannah and show up like we were before. What happens to her? She starts to go back to doing what she was doing, the alcohol and you know what misuse. That's not because demons have entered her. That's not because ABC. That's just because she has that addictive personality of a trauma. Do you get what I'm saying? And now she's gone back to what she, it was just an exchange. It's the same, like addiction is addiction. That's why I said to you with the pastor's wife who has the shopping, you know what? The pandemic helped us to get out of all the cults. Yeah. It opened our eyes. Babe, I'm not going to lie. If that hadn't have come, because we were forced to go within. We had no choice. It was like the pandemic was like, it was survival of the fittest. We were just surviving. And I need everyone to understand that people that were in cults, yeah, we had an extra layer on top of the pandemic, on top of what was going on top of being scared for our life, on top of thinking that it was going to wipe everyone out, on top of losing people, we had the extra layer of coming to the realization that we were in a high control group and we had been living a life for all these. I don't like, guys, like honestly, like how I made it, yeah, through the pandemic, like even to the, that's why I say that there has to be a God. Do you know what I'm saying? For my life, and again, that's my personal experience. Another person may not have been like emmed like me and great like me in the past, and been on the road and with GMs, and had my nan unalive, and then my best friend unalive after that, and then my boyfriend unalive, then police custody, and all the things I've been through, and 18 years in the cult. Someone hasn't been through that journey and that path. They've been on a different path. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why we can't force our beliefs and our mindsets on everyone else. But do you know what? The narcissist believes in their mind that the world would be a better place if there were more mini thems walking around like them, acting, talking, doing, being just like them. That's what they think in their mind, because they've got grandiose ideologies of themselves. They think that they're perfect. What was it about the pandemic that made you realize you were in a high control cult? Ooh, that's a good question. Can someone pin that? Because I'm not gonna lie, I do get asked a lot, what made you leave? But that is more generic. I like it when questions are generalized, because it's so much, such a vast experience. Okay. So the first sign for me was just that I started to feel like, why do I want to leave my cult? Yeah. And in the cult, the way that they indoctrinate us is basically like, you won't want to leave the cult unless you're offended. You want to be in the world. What's the other ones? You're offended. You want to be, you're hurt. Your church hurt. That's a big one that they do up. So I had to demolish that, which I'm very proud I have done. I have that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all I see is church trauma and spiritual psychosis. All I see is church trauma and spiritual psychosis. What do you mean? We've come a long way. So church hurt is no longer a thing. It's just the indoctrinated people them that will be doing up church hurt, to trigger us, to devalue our experience, to demise it, because everybody's educated now. Everybody's got the awareness, education, and knowledge, and know that church hurt is actually offensive. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, things are coming, guys. Things are coming. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so I started to go, so that's a big thing, church hurt. It was like they use it, it's like to belittle the experience, because we were abused in there. We weren't hurt. I know of a woman who was essayed by a high-ranking pastor and then raped for years by one. So is that church hurt? Is that church hurt? Because now she's got endometriosis. She has to take about 22 you-know-whats just for her to sleep, for her to go toilet, for her to wake up, for her to do everything. Do you know what I'm saying? That woman's bedbound. Do you get it? So I just don't think that's hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hurt when my ninja doesn't answer the phone because he said he was going to give me some money. And now that I'm calling him to collect, he's not picking up the phone. So I'm frustrated and hurt. Yeah? All right. We were abused. That's what I need everybody to understand in the cut. So when I went to start going and Googling it up now, yeah, and because obviously we had the time, because remember, they got us in the physical space 24 hours a day. I was in the church I used to go and pick up my pastor in the morning. And I just want to say, I wasn't forced. I did volunteer to do it, but it still is, everything is coercion. I've still got, that syndrome when you love your abuser. Anyway, so I would leave my house at 7, go and pick up the pastor for about, because we had to get there for 8, because the first service was 8:30. And then I would go and clean his office, because I would be there first. And then I would like go and get him like his pastries and make his coffee and, serve him. And we used to have to do the napkin. Like you can't just like give them the coffee. You have to put it on the tray. You have to give it to them. And we used to have to put tissue. We used to have to put tissue around the bottle. So say like, this is the tissue. Yeah, we would have to fold it. And then I wish I had a napkin. And then we'd have to do it like this, like a triangle. We'd have to do it like a triangle. And then, hey, Joker, I'm all right, babe. And then we'd have to put it like that. And then it would have to go like that on all the bottles. And then we would have to put the bottles on the tray. So it would be like this. And they would have to be all lined up. And we would have to hold the bottles like this. And this is when we were serving the man of God or his wife. I haven't even done the serving. I'm going to do a little skit on it. I'm going to dress like how I used to. I'm going to get all the bottles. I'm going to get the napkins, and I'm going to show you lot. I'm going to give you lot a lesson. There's a lot of content to come, man. There's a lot, because I need to get the ones who are like, the high up laves. Because I got quite a few praise and worship leaders out. Because when the them were coming and saying, oh, I was the main praise and worship leader, I was like, oh, I was the main praise and worship leader in my branch. I was like, woo. I didn't know it was reaching, but because my experience has been a worship leader for 18 years, I just expose it up. All right, guys, that's just me yapping. Let's get into the subject area of the day. I've been talking about narcissism, and I think it's really important to understand what a narcissist is, how it affects us, because a lot of that scripture that says that they are wolves dressed in sheep's clothing. That's a narcissist. If you had to describe a narcissist in any way, come on, where's my survivors of narcissistic abuse? I think we could say a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, because that's how they come. And this is exactly what they're like in these spaces, these mogs, honestly. And because they're covered with this like cloak of religion, it's like a mask. It's a mask of religion, but there's that Pharisaic spirit. And to be honest, I don't think it gets more than the Pharisaic spirit, because they were the ones that actually put who to unalive. Do you know what I'm saying? Which was just the most purest, kindest, gentlest soul. Jesus Christ just wanted to come here. Tasia in the cut just wanted to come here to spread love, personal relationship with God. But they don't like that. They don't like the frequency. That's how that's why I said to you guys, you need to change your concept now that you're awakened and woke. It's a fight between light and dark. That's it. On period, point blank. It's a fight between light and dark. You lot know I'm not EVIL. You lot know me. Like, I've been on here. You lot have got to know me for a year. I've been transparent. I've been open. You lot know all my business. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You lot can feel it. You can feel it. That's why I said to you lot, when I was in the cult, it was always Leah, the anointed one. Oh, Leah, God is with you. Leah, da, da, da. No one could deny the anointing of God upon my life. No one could deny how much I loved God. And that's the vibe. Like, if anyone meets me, and it's just Leah's good people, innit? Even if you did me dirty, you're just lying to yourself, babe. You're just lying to yourself, because I haven't done anyone dirty. I've always been there for people. And if I stop talking to you, it's for a reason. Matthew 7:15. It's always for a reason, homie. And it might not even be about you. It might be about me, because I'm a deeply spiritual person. It could be that I just don't want to commit to a friendship. Oh, thanks, AI. Or I can't give that to you. And you're like a needy friend. You need a lot of attention. You need a lot of time. You need a lot of, do you know what I mean? And I can't give that, because I'm mentally unstable myself. I need someone who's going to be like, oh, okay, in your time, I get it. I don't want to feel the pressure. So for that reason, I can't be your friend. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not a you thing, it's a me thing. Maybe you will reflect, because I don't look at other people and what they need to change to do it, because I haven't got the energy for that. Do you know what I'm saying? I spent 18 years in a cult thinking I was the savior of the world. You know them ones. So I never see other people as the issue. That I see it as what is it about me? Why can't I? And then when I tell people that, it's like they're not. It's like you're looking for something else. What do you want me to say? It is you. It's not about you. I'm the main character in my life. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not even thinking about what you're doing up. Sorry. I'm selfish. I need to be selfish, because I wasn't there for myself for so many years. So I can't be that kind of friend. That's just the truth. I can't sit here and listen to all your problems. I can do it in a collective way, like where we're all sitting here, we're talking about the trauma, we're deconstructing it, but I can't be here to take on someone else's trauma about their childhood and trauma. But I can't, I haven't got that capacity. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just about hanging on by a thread. And guys, sometimes you do need to be selfish and say, do you know what? I'm not going to answer that call. I'm not going to go to that thing. I'm not going to do this. I'm not, because they turned us into doormats where we felt like, we were like, yes, please. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, please. Yet getting forced. We couldn't say no. We couldn't say no. The first part of healing is being able to just be like, no. For that first year, it was just me, just telling people no. Do you get what I'm saying? Hey, Miss Rose. Oh, yes, they're very charming, two-faced. They hate being criticized and corrected. Yeah, because remember, that's a narcissistic injury. When you criticize them or you correct them and you're right, that's a narcissistic injury. They can't handle it because they're not mentally well. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't process things like the average human being. And this is what I need people to understand, because religious psychosis is getting praised and getting seen as zealous and bold, and when it's aggression and it's abuse. And this is the thing, in these wacky backy spaces, they do spiritual currency exchanges. So they change the meaning of things. So for example, manifestation, which a lot of the time it's like an episode. They're having a schizophrenic episode. They're having hallucinations. They'll say they're drunk in the spirit. they're laughing and whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, the way, have you not seen that clip with that content I put up of Kenneth Hagin and people are laughing? Hilarious, like, they can't stop laughing. It's like someone on drugs. It's the same high that you get from the drugs is that what you're getting. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's called, they call it a spiritual high in there. But it's the same way your brain alters and whatever is the same way. Like, remember I did that content on when we go under anesthesia. And I said to you that the way they indoctrinate us, it's like going into a spiritual anesthesia. There's certain parts of the brain. I don't have all my notes here with me. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. But there's like parts of the brain that's supposed to like send messages. It just starts to get rewired and it just stops. Those parts just stop working because they're not getting used. Thanks, Queen Innes. They're not getting used. So it's like we go into like a spiritual coma. And that's what happens. Remember that analogy of lights are on, no one's head? They're in spiritual comas. Like, they don't understand the depth of how deep we had to dive into the ocean of knowledge. We had to really seek to find. We had to really knock to get an answer. Because we unalived and came back to life. That's what they don't realize. That's what you lot just go and sit in the pews every Sunday. Like, we've really had to do the work to keep our mind, to keep our peace of mind. Yeah, it's not been a game. All right, Matthew 7:15. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? So the analogy of a grape can't grow from a thorn bush. So like I was saying to you, the fruits of the spirit. Lucia, do you know what scripture the fruits of the is it no, not Galatians 6. Galatians 6 is I feel like is it in Galatians? Galatians 6:6 is what my pastor did up, and then all the churches from all around the world have to give him. Oh, it's Galatians 5. Have to give him money, chair. All right, let's go to because I can cross-reference, you know. I mean, you lot are playing with me like I didn't spend 18 years in this fake spiritual university competing with everyone because I was pretty to prove to them. I don't know what Richard wanted. Chair. It's only when he started getting desperate and the church was starting to, like, people were starting to leave. It was on its way out, and then he put my spiritual father in there. Do you get it? He put my spiritual father in there, and then he was like, "Oh, Leah's here." He started like mentioning my name. 5:22. Thanks, girl. I was close though, innit? I said Galatians 6, and I was like, it can't be Galatians 6:6. But we had must know scriptures. Hey, Queen. We had must know scriptures. So like these scriptures were must know. So even if I don't know exactly where it is, I'll know the book or I know whereabouts it is. Like, even if you didn't tell me, I would have just gone Galatians and look, because I know it's in Galatians. You get it? Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law, and those who are Christ's have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to reveal that truth because I don't want to cast my pearls amongst swine. I know that there's some people in here that are not deserving to hear it. Yeah, must know scriptures, isn't it? Yeah, it was too much. So here in black and white in the Bible that they believe is the infallible word of God, it says that the fruit of the Spirit is love and it's joy and it's peace, right? But because they do up spiritual exchange currency, and also there's no light within them, there's only dark. There's only darkness, there's no light. So I'm going to show you a picture of this guy, Jesse, preaching. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it clearly. Instagram, there you go. Guys, I'm going to change it because I know the comments, it doesn't look that great. But how is this? Let me bring up the other picture. How is this personifying the fruits of the Spirit? But do you know what it is? These baby, you know what? They don't know anything. They're kids. They've gone in there. They've gone in there. They've been in there for 5 minutes. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can see it. You can see the possession. You can see, like, you know what I was saying to you when it's like they're spiritually unalived. That's why Christ was saying, like, awake. But because because they see everything as external, because these monks don't know how to go within. Do you get what I'm saying? They've all learned from another man. Like, if you hear all of them down to the sound, they've learned from a man. Like, Dag will give credit to Oral Roberts, Kenneth E. Hagin, all of these guys who have come from gangs, and they'll give credit to their pastor. These people don't know God. They haven't, like, that's why I do, like, as hard as it's been, I'm starting to come out now and be like, do you know what? I thank God for the experience, because I don't think I would have known God in this time when it's so infiltrated, it's so rife. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to go through this experience to, like, come back to the knowledge of who God is. I had to go through this. Do you get what I'm saying? Because no one will ever be able to take me away from God, the presence of God, the love of God, nothing. Like, I will, you know, like, I've learned my lesson, like, being in these institutions, like, I've really seen the face of EVIL. Like, I've seen it. I've been face to face with EVIL. Hey, welcome. Oh, we got someone from Russia. Welcome. How do I say hello in Russian? Let me change this because you can't see the comments. How do I say hello in Russian? Oh, look, this is perfect. You know, it just really saddens me because this is a little boy. I probably could have given birth to this guy. He looks like a baby. And it's really sad how they recruit the young. Queen Nas. So, and this is what's really sad, because they've changed it. They've packaged a religion into like a cheap McDonald's meal, and they're coming and attacking me and saying, oh, you're from the Divaya, you're the witch of the... Babe, I'm giving people I'm giving an alternative route to getting to know Christ individually on your own, like what I did, personal relationship. If people want to do that, then I'm giving them the trying to help people to rediscover themselves within. I'm not giving anyone the answers. Nobody's supposed to do that. You're supposed to go within. We don't need a leader. We don't need do you know what I mean? Like, that's so archaic, man. We are one. That's why I said, when I start doing the meetings, I don't even know what I'm going to call them, maybe link ups, whatever it is that we're doing up. We'll all be in a circle, babe. Whenever we've done a survivor link up, when we were in the park, we were in a circle. There's no hierarchy. We don't like that. We're allergic to it. We're immune to that. We don't like those kind of That's why I'm the total antithesis of what I was. I can't be looking conservative. You know, like this look that they're doing where all the girls look old and that old money look. I can't do that up, because I was doing that for you. I was dressing old well before my time. Everyone has a place and no one is above. Yeah, no one is above you. We're all the same. We're all equal in the eyes of God, babe. Can you name all the cults you know, or post a list, please? Ooh. That would be good, though, innit, to have a cult directory. All right, babe. I'll work on, actually, do you know what I think that might be important to put in the review. I'm gonna do that and put it in the review, because I'm gonna release a systematic review that I've been doing on this. You have to be qualified to do that. Do you know what I mean? But luckily for y'all, I did a social work master's. Oh, trolls, what was that? You saying I'm jobless? Have you got a job? Because, babe, even if you've got a job, are you qualified to do a systematic review on the epidemic of church cults, and that we need a public health approach and a trauma-informed approach? Are you qualified to say that and do that up and publish it and for people to read it? I didn't think so. All right, babe. So I will get onto that. Whatever CC Jesse is must be studied. I honestly don't think that this guy attends a CC, you know, because when I know about these guys, that they're usually vagabonds. They don't like to be under leadership. They don't like to be led by anyone. With that type of spirit and anger, they can't be led. They usually have like spiritual fathers or a mentor, someone that they're following from a distance that they give credit to. Do you understand? Because they like to do what they want. That's been my experience with these type of man. Because remember, I'm home, guys. Come on, man. I've been doing this for a long time, man. I used to be that girl on the train preaching, but I went a 304, so I didn't sleep with these man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I was just there, like, actually doing the outreach, like actually with the guys, because now it's starting to become a lot more women. But back the 2000s, when I was there weren't many women preachers. It was like Juanita Bynum, Paula White. Like now, God, it's like female rappers. You know, it's exactly like that. Like, remember in my day, we just had Trina. We had Trina, Missy, we had Foxy Brown, we had Lil Kim. That was it. Then we had Charlie Baltimore, and there was that other girl that was signed with Jay-Z. We did not have a lot of Debrat. We didn't have a lot. Now it's like every girl from the hood, and I respect it. If I was the age, I would be rapping, chair. Are you having a laugh? Me and my home girl. If it was now like back then, we would have bust. Are you having a laugh? Everyone, I'd just be doing it up. You know what I mean? There's money. There's money in my aesthetic, just being who I am, like from the hood. Are you having a laugh? I would have been doing it. I mean, Mickey out right, but I'd be doing it up, and people would be following it. You know them ones just because you're from the hood, yeah. So the wogs, the women of God, yeah. It's like now there's an infiltration. I think it's just every gal is just trying to do up a wog. So it's just the MESS. Do you know what I mean? I see these gal them like doing a whole minister of this. It's like anyone can be a minister. Anyone can be a female minister because they always buy him but never say anything. Oh, they're always by him but never say anything. Who's always by him? And, you know, me, I'm not one to judge, but, you know, when I was doing up church cult, you know, I was wearing dresses down to my UCKG. Yeah, he's always up. Yeah. Another person said that as well. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of digging with that. Do you know what I mean? When I was doing up church cult and I was worship leader and I was doing it up properly, I wasn't wearing those short. You look like 304s in these spaces. I can't even believe that you're trying to say. I can't even believe that you're trying to say that you're doing it up. It's absolutely shocking. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like they say one thing and then they do another, and then they do another, and then they think it's all right for them to do, but they're condemning the world. But they've been doing that in their self-sealing systems for years, demonizing the world, us versus them, isolation, all of that, because they never had someone speak out like what I'm speaking. Now I'm here and I'm saying, as well as the collective, why are you talking about us? Because no one talks about you on the outside. They make out like everyone else is the problem. It's been them all along. It's been them all along. It's been them all along. But because, you know, when you look back, and it wasn't that long ago when monarchy, religion, and politics was all one, all wrapped in one. That's why we have a lot of the corruption, Jaya. Go and do your deconstruction and your research. And then they're just HATing on me. Why? Because I have knowledge. You don't. That's why you're perishing. Because there's thousands of you, but out of the thousands of you, not one could stand. I could have all 1,000 of you in a row. Not one of you could challenge or get anybody else to understand or go towards your side. Even there would even be, because remember, some of these kids are like 15 years old, 16 years old. You've got to remember that. And there's no, how they indoctrinate them in there is that age doesn't matter. It's about the anointing on your life. So let's flip and reverse it now. If you're saying that the anointing doesn't matter and you're saying that a 14 can lead a 40-year-old, then line them up. Line them all up. Let's test their knowledge against mine, because my 18 years doesn't mean nothing. Does it? Do you see how silly you sound? Do you see the foolishness? Do you see why people are speaking about this and why it's an issue? Do you see why people are raising up to speak about it? Because it's an absolute epidemic, and we're not having it anymore. Like you lot need like support, not to be outside. We don't want you preaching to us because we can see you've got issues. We can see you've got fundamental issues on you, right? We can see it. By your appearance, your presentation is not making us want to come to Christ. That's on period, point blank. Nobody because you know what? I've been taught that, listen, yeah, you see, if you can look the part, if you can, part of the job interview is you look in the part. If you go and you turn up and you look a mess, you're not getting that job. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you've got. It doesn't matter how well you interview. So why they think they're on the roadside looking at MESS, screaming and shouting, hollering with megaphones, saying that people are going to HER, and you look a mess and you think people are going to come to the knowledge of knowing what? Of knowing who? That's why the man them stop for me when I ask a question, because I look good. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. It is what it is. Law of attraction, baby. Oh, it's demonic. But if you had like a certain knowledge, you would understand that you wouldn't be going out looking like John the Baptist. Do you know what I'm saying? Like on the roadside. Like you look like you have no abode. Like that's what it's giving. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I just, do you know what as well? I think a lot of these guys have like antisocial personality disorders. That's what I think it's giving. It's just giving chaotic. It's just giving. I think there's a lot of unresolved trauma, like especially with this one. I think like if we went back into a lot of their past, there's probably like a lot of like these kind of guys. They don't really do well in institutions. So when they come to the knowledge of God and they don't really like to be like settled in places. They find it hard to have spouses because, as I said, they're just like vagabonds. They're everywhere because of the trauma. So that it's a pattern. It's like a recognition pattern. It's a pattern, learned behavior. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a survival technique because they found that that's what their identity is in. Does that make sense? So since a child, this one probably, and he's probably got learning needs, but from young, maybe the institution of education wasn't, compatible with him, whatever. It could be because of learning, undiagnosed learning needs, whatever. Maybe got kicked out of school young or hasn't done very well with education. He could have, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just going off my, because I did say I'm a specialist with gangs and, these type of guys on the periphery or at risk. Or just like I would work with young people, neat young people, like not in education, employment and training. So they're not like in the gangs. Like this guy wouldn't have been in a gang, but he would have been one of them guys trying to be accepted, sense of belonging, trying to get in the gang, trying to do you know what I mean? Not in education, employment and training. So I'd work with these cohorts of young people as well. So usually, typically, they do come from very like chaotic past, dysfunctional past. He's probably had exposure to adverse childhood experiences. And that's usually a parent incarcerated, single parent home. Maybe he's a care experience. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a care experienced child and gone through the care system. They have very traumatic. So then do you see that they don't even have that sense of belonging? They don't feel like they belong anywhere because they haven't had that secure attachment as a child. So even within the church environment, they kind of church cult hop, or they might have a church, but they go around to a lot of different ones because they don't have stability within themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? So when they go outside, they perpetuate the chaos and they feel comfortable in the chaos. And you know what? People could come on and say, "Oh, you haven't got that much people watching your views and this is that." Babes, I don't need a lot of people. I need the right people. The right people to hear what I'm saying. It's about the right people hearing what I'm saying. It's about the right people because this is for a collective. This isn't for the severely indoctrinated. Are my mods on? Ines, have you seen Lucia? Have you seen? Thank you, darling. I don't even know what Corey was saying, sounding like I don't even. What age is that? Do you know what I mean? Like like the language that they use is weird because they're not with popular culture because they're inside of the self-stealing system. Like your cooked buddy, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even know what my man's talking about, but they mix. Like when you hear them speak, because they read a lot of the King James version and they're reciting, it will be like, yeah, bro, wherefore thou art is going, wherefore art thou? Nando's, bro, yeah, thou going. Like, it's mad, Charlie. Like some mad dialects. They have some mad dialects in there. So also, like, the way that they speak will be strange. So they'll speak to people, but it will be like robotic, like, yes, it's like it's not really them when you're speaking to, because they don't really know how to chat to people outside of the hyper religious, spiritual, psychotic environment. Because when they're in there, it's like you're a leader, you're a this, so you're used to like leading people, or you don't have normal relationships with people because you're like recruiting them, you're always pouring into people, so they've always got an empty cup. But then they'll be preaching about filling up your cup. How? They always give you a scripture. Now they're trying to talk about being in the stillness, meditating. They don't know what they're talking about, Chair. Because they don't understand the age we're in, their people in their spaces are going to be suffering from severe mental health right now. They're going to not be sleeping well, including the pastors, all of them. They're going to be going through it. They're not understanding the times. That's why they're going into this spiritual, psychotic, like hyper religiosity, like type of state where they're going into these mind altered practices of fasting and prayer. And it's going to make the people worse. It's going to exasperate it because it's already a hard time. And the last thing you need to be doing right now is excessive fasting. Fasting, of course, fasting's good, especially intermediate fasting, Chair. That's what I do. Like most of my life, I'm fasting. And they want to come and attack someone like me when fasting's not even a thing I announce or do. Fasting's a way of life for me. It's a part of my life. Yeah, they lack social skill. Fasting is a part of my life. I've got to the point in my spirituality where I'm saying to God, what is the need for food? Why do I have to eat food? I don't even want to eat food. I can survive off the source that God gives me alone. I don't need to eat. I've had to have survivors of certain people saying to me, Leah, you need to eat, because I don't feel the need to eat. I'm spiritually fed by God, by the way that God ministers to me, by the way, do you know what I mean? The pouring a lot. I don't even need to eat, bro. And then I started to look into the power of that. Do you know, like fasting? Yeah, because Lucia, you're woke. Fasting is a lifestyle. Like your body, as you regulate your neurosystem, like you come back to life, your body will naturally lead and take you into that. If you're a spiritual person, like spiritual people will be it's like a state. It becomes a part of your lifestyle because they're doing it in a religious way. They're clanging cymbals. They're doing it to be seen. The reward God rewards you openly. That's why, like, now I'm getting the recognition. People, because I've put the work in myself. I've put the work in myself, but it was all meant to happen this way. People were all meant to see, like, that journey in a year. Because look how long it's taken me, just that journey for the healing. How can they say that they've come to the knowledge of Christ after 5 minutes? They've gone up and given their life, and now they're out there preaching. They've known Christ for 3 months. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Even a doctor doesn't go straight into medicine. They practice for years, man. They're on that placement. They can't go straight into general practitioners. I know they've got to be practicing for like 5 years. I know this because my cult leader's a doctor. And all of the people in the cult were either in medicine or doctors or something. So I know. That's why I know that information. This is scary stuff, guys. You got to go deep. Mullah, what do you want to talk about? Miller, what do you want to talk about? Put it in the chat, because I don't have time for people coming on here being silly and being idiots. Because I'm a survivor. I was in there for 18 years. I haven't got the capacity to be dealing with that type of thing. So you need to say what you want to be putting up in the chat. Yeah. So guys, are you getting? Nobody has the right to tell anyone how to live, because nobody knows what they're doing. We are all trying to figure life out. There is no absolute truth religion. The universe is too vast. Wow. I agree. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's true. They just want to, they're like dictators, like they're mogs. They just want to come in here. Yeah, you need to say what you want to put in the chat. This isn't, I'm not easy and cheap like the spaces that I'm talking about. It's not anyone that comes into my energy in my space. I'm expensive. All right. So if you want to come up, you got to put why you want to come up. Do you know what I'm saying? We're very protective of our energy and our space here. We're not desperate for people to come on. We're not. I'm not a 304. You wanna hear me? So hear me from down there. Why are you trying to get into my energy? Calm down. Hear it from the platform. I don't know you from nowhere. I only give my energy to survivors. This energy is expensive, baby. I don't give my energy to man them like that. The survivors is different because we've got something going on. We're locked in. Exactly what makes you listen. When I get a ninja, yeah, he don't want to let me go, babes. He gives me everything in the world. That's why I don't know why these gal them are trying to have some chat for me, babes. Do you know what I mean? Oh, please. Yes, soft life has said, what makes you more qualified to tell other people what to do is very arrogant. I agree 100%. How do you deal with an ex who is part of the cult and you share kids with them? Oh God, that one's hard. Oh God, I'm gonna have to ask the Holy Spirit for guidance on that. All right, wisdom. That's what just came to me. Wisdom. You've got to have a lot of wisdom, because if someone, how long have they been in the cult? Because when you got kids involved, yeah, these people will send them on mission. I'm not trying to scare you, but they can send them on missions like that if they end up marrying someone else in the cult and then the man's the head and then you lose complete control. I've got a couple of questions for you first. How long has she been in the cult, and is your name on the birth certificate of the kids? If it's too much information, too much personal information to ask, you can message me after. But if I go off the back, I'm waiting for you to respond. If you were to say to me, she's been in there for longer than 3 years and my name is not on the birth certificate, then you really need to be doing up a lot of wisdom, because you don't really have rights. Does that make sense? So what you need to be doing up is rather so using a lot of wisdom. Don't say bad things about the cult, because then she's going to see you as an enemy. She won't see you like the child of the father of her child now, because remember, they've indoctrinated her that she's going to marry this man of God, this kingdom. She's got that in her head. She's in the clouds. All right. So the only thing that she's going to know, because it's very black and white thinking, us versus them, isolate, very like radical, like it's not extremist. So I would say, don't go in saying anything bad about the cult, because they program them that God will build his church and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I don't think anyone understands how powerful that false doctrine is, like that analogy that they put into your psyche. I don't think people understand how powerful that is, because it's like whenever someone comes up against them, that it's like almost like saying F you in a Christian way. That's literally it. Like God will build his church and the gates of hell, nothing will prevail. If they find comfort in these words, does that make sense? But for them, Oh, thanks, Callie. I appreciate you, babe. But for them, it's internalized. It's very real. To us, we know it's just all human fecal matter because they don't have any power. They don't even know who God is. Do you get what I'm saying? We know that, but they don't. They believe that that teeth in, money grabbing, whatever mog is, they believe that he's really dropped from the clouds. Do you know what I mean? They see him like Elijah, Moses. That's how they see him. Yeah. Even though we know he's a teeth and fake, but that's how they see him in their chair. So they are wrapped in a bubble of psychosis with the cult leader because the cult leader is a narcissist and a malignant narcissist at that. And he is in full-blown psychosis. He has created that reality himself through fanatical, grandiose ideologies of self. Do you understand what I'm saying? I need you to understand how severely indoctrinated this girl is. Like, no one will come before the cult leader, including your kids. That's just the truth once you're in there. So I would try to be a very hands-on dad wherever you can. Just if you have to take the crumbs, just be overly nice. You got to play them at your own game. Like, are you ready to step up? Because if I were you, I'd be wanting to have my kids all the time. And if you're in a position to do so, I would make sure that you have a strong influence in them child's lives. Because with the kids in there, they can come out with a lot of like neurological delays. They can come out with a lot of like anxiety, like not really know how to like, you know, like they don't have like very good social skills because they don't, like the parents, they don't want them to mix. Like I would only let my child go to a party like you're snobbish. I would only let my child go to a party if the parents were married. I knew they were like Christians or Catholics, you know, like you become really so, oh, I don't want my child. Oh, look at that single parent. That's exactly how they go on in there. Like, my child's too good. And that's why I call them 304s, because they forget where they come from. They forgot they come from the slums. They forgot they come, you forgot you come from Ellsbury Estate, babe. That's where you come from. They're knocking that building down now. You come from estates in Elephant and Castle that don't exist anymore, babe. And now you've started doing up Paris, and now you're married and you've HP'd your car and you've mortgaged the house or you're renting a house. And your child goes to this good Catholic school or this good school down the road. Now you're turning your nose up at people that are like single moms. Well, that's literally what you are anyway, because your husband's never there. Sorry. So what was I saying? Are you still here, Kolo? So is that good advice? I feel like wisdom and also being open with open conversations with her. Don't be like closed up and being very close. Like, because if they sniff that you're acting funny about the cult, she's going to see you as an enemy, and she's going to see you as the DEVIL for her son. Because remember, they're spiritually psychotic. So that's not where you want to go. You don't want to exasperate it, because if you exasperate it, then she's going to start talking to the pastor. She's going to start being like, oh yeah, the father of my child, he's the DEVIL, and then they'll start to like, you know, like she'll start having all these different voices in her head, and then, do you know what I mean? She might just stop giving you access, or, you know, it can get messy. Because the thing is, yeah, you see these CC people, the man them are COWARDSs, yeah, but what they'll do is they'll draw you out like this guy. They'll draw you out because they're not really on it, but they'll draw you out to get a reaction, and then they'll call the police. That's what they'll do. They love to call the police. They love it. Like it's innate within who they are to do up that. Do you know what I'm saying? And as well, you've got to realize that you're dealing with narcissists. So if you go to the setting, that's why I say don't really go to the setting. Try and deal with it on a one-to-one. Try and deal with it. However, she might be bringing in the pastor a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? She might be bringing in the pastor a lot, dependent on how close she is. But I would try to keep it, mediate it through the families if you can. Is her mum indoctrinated? Get your mums involved. Get your mums to be mediators. If you've got that relationship with your mum, you can even pay for mediation and get mediation as well, so that you can talk it through. Because when you have a legal trial as well, that you've tried to do this, if you need to get like custody of the child later on or things like that, then you will be seen as, you know, you have taken these steps. Also, don't ever get it twisted. When it comes to like custody of the child and that, and I'd be willing to, if you say, like, if it was from my call and this and that, I could actually write a letter. I'm going to be willing to do this, as because, you know, I'm a qualified social worker as well, as a letter of support to say, you know, this is what a church cult is, this is how it affects the child, etc., etc. You know, like with human development, child development, and things like that. If that was needed for, I'm not getting involved, but I'm saying I could write, like, you know, like where you take letters of support. It could be from character references, whatever. You could take a, you know, letter in as a professional that says ABC for them to acknowledge the coercive control, the high control, like what's going on in the environment do you understand what I'm saying? And maybe some of the like isolation, etc. that's going on. Just a little bit, that might be a bit too much, but that's just a little bit for you to consider, yeah? Does that help? Let me know. Lucia, you lot, are you here? I don't even care if they're commenting, you know. I really don't. Because baby, since I started taking my meds, I don't feel no need to cuss you. I don't even care. I'm so mellow. I'm easy like Monday morning. Ooh. I'm easy like Monday morning. Ooh. All right, y'all, let's get into what a narcissist is. Let's break it down. Oh, guys, you know what, you lot? I'm sure I'm going to be the first one to announce this. They've got a new pizza range in Lidl. All right, guys. These are the kind of things we get happy about. When you lot are blowing out each other's backs and getting all these indecent thoughts about your brothers and sisters amongst the pews, we're all here. We talk about Lidls. You know, we talk about nice little bits that they got because we're trying to heal, baby. We're in our yard. Y'all are outside, man. Guys, just, oh, look at Johnny with Johnny's. Hey, do you know what it is, guys? The vibe that's up. Nobody wants to be outside. I feel really sad for them because, you know, you get forced to be in people's energy in there. Oh my God, I could never do it now. You lot, you know, when I went to visit the Ark, yeah, they were like, oh, hold the hand of your neighbor. I was like, oh, chair. They're just exchanging energy like that, you know. They don't know nobody from nowhere. They're holding panda hand. Me, I'm a spiritual girly, man. All of that transference. And me not know about your spiritual cleanliness. How about that? You know, like how you have to wash your hands to get the germ. What about your spiritual cleanliness? And I'm thinking about cleanliness. COVID, hello. Narby. So I said to the girl, "Oh, I don't really do that. I don't hold hands with people I don't know. You know, I just had to say, like, I don't do it." And she was like, "Oh, that's fine. That's okay." And then it was like, and that's why it's important to be your true, authentic self, because when you're that way inclined, yeah, you will get to see what's truly inside the other person. Because I saw that girl's reaction, and I didn't even do it to get that reaction. I just had to be honest because I had to have my boundaries up because I know how these people go on in these institutions share. I can't have nothing transferring to me because I think a lot of it in that place is a lot of transference. There's a lot of people with a lot of, because remember, I don't believe that now. But back then I was, you know, you believe in possessions and spirits transferring, and you that is very much your reality. And then you don't have any spiritual protection when you're in there, remember? So that's how I think there's a lot of transference of that. It's crazy, man. Chill. So when I told the girl, she was like, "It's all right, I understand." I said, "Oh, actually, you're lovely." I said, "I wouldn't mind to hold your hand," because then I've seen her true character. But that was her first time. That's why she weren't a goer, you know, like she hadn't been attended. It was just her first time like me. I was like, "Oh my God, it's my first time too." She was so lovely, that girl. I should have taken her number, chair. But you know, I was so overwhelmed by being in a church again and being in the Ark. All right. So narcissists have these grandiose self-images. These are how the mogs are. This is exactly how the mogs are. If I didn't say this was a narcissist, if I had come on here saying that this was a PASTOR, everyone, they all would have been clapping. I wish if I had the knowledge, I would have come back and I would have done like a reverse psychological trick on them, and I would have played the part as the narcissistic lady pastor, got a following, and been ABU SE people as a social experiment to show the world that it's this easy to do it. And I've just been manipulated. A bit like Nana Agrada, you know, the one from Ghana that did the double money scam and got sentenced for 15 years. So Mandem, like whoever it was, he's been blocked, like Laperia, they would have got scammed for their money because they're in these same settings. So anyone that's attending these CCs, these cults, they're basically getting teethed. So like Andrew here, he's giving his tithe, so he's getting robbed. Andrew, I'm sorry, I can't speak to you, babe. I don't speak to people because people need to have their own mind. And I don't like a man who's just getting ROBBE'd, you know, like in the daylight. All right. So narcissist self-image is known as infallible, mighty, all-knowing. This self-image, do you think I need to restart, guys? This self-image is him being far more superior than everyone around him. So with the narcissist, but I think, because I'm saying narcissist, it'll be all right. With the narcissist, what you get is like everyone has to be subordinate because they are inferior. They are the mighty. That's why even when my ex-cult leader was talking about I don't even know what he was talking about, but his gestures were like his hand was up. Do you know what I mean? Like even when they're preaching, you can see the gestures that they're using when they're talking about themselves and the ministry. And do you know what I mean? All right, I'm going to restart, guys. If you want to come back on, come back on. I don't feel like I got a tutorial. No, I didn't. But it's best to be in the practice of that, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it can just get so... It can just go from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? But I think it's just, you know what I think it was, guys? I think it was when I was saying church all the time, because remember, church and Christians and Muslims and things like that, they're a protected characteristic. So when I would say like pastor's wife, this, that, and that's when it's getting locked off. So when I clocked it, I started to, because what they're starting to do is give you a clip. And on the clip, I said something Christian. And that's when I realized, okay, because now TikTok's helping you. Do you get what I'm saying? To see, guys, sorry, you know, because I've taken my tablets, I'm really hot. Oh, let me put on my fan. I don't care, man, because why are we being fake? This is real life. Why do people come on fake, like for the internet, and act like there's something that they're not? I just don't get it. What's the point in doing that? Because then you're not being yourself. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't stand fake people. I'd rather be myself, because how can you take the piss out of myself? If I'm being fake and I'm being something that I'm not, and then you expose me, then I'm an idiot. But if I'm being myself, how can you expose me about myself? This is what I've done. Listen, anything that anyone wants to listen, any man that's come out that will say anything about being associated with me, one thing I'm going to tell you, he ain't broke and he ain't an idiot. He's either a gangster or he was a gangster back in the day and he's fallen off. I can't be responsible for him at 40 and 50 years old. When I was dealing with him when he was 20, I don't go for bums. So I wouldn't be embarrassed of anyone that comes forward to say they were dealing with me. And if they were, where's your receipts, babe? Because I don't deal with break man them. That's on period point blank. Welcome, guys. Oh my gosh, you lot, honestly, yeah. I've seen the sandwiches, you know, in Lidl, because I've got one that's so close. I can see the sandwiches are going off tomorrow. So I'm going to get there early in the morning. Damn. You lot, I'm going at 8 a.m, mate. You know, they put the sandwiches down to half price. I'm getting about 3 sandwiches. I can't wait. Because I was going to Aldi all this time, innit? I was sleeping on Lidl's. Oh my gosh, the bakery is just, oh gosh, it's just superb. All right, guys. I can talk and eat. Welcome back, my loves. Welcome, Instagram. I get a lot of stray farm animals on Instagram. You know, in my comments. Oh my God, they're all on there. They love Instagram, innit? They love being on there because it's like, it's professional, innit? But since I've been going on Instagram, they've been trying to get onto me a little bit more because, you know, like it's harder to grow on Insta than any of the other apps. It's not easy to get like Insta views and that. So because I'm getting followers and that, they're just coming on there. You know what else as well? You know what they love to do? They love to like follow me and then unfollow me. Oh my God. Do you know what? I'm going to restart the live. Guys, this is a survivor. I'm going to restart the live. I'm coming back. Babe, let me restart the live to speak to you. All right. 1 second. Stay online. Stay there. All right, guys. Can you hear me? I've got to go. I'll be back in 5. Give me 5 minutes. YouTube, I've got to go. I'll be back in 5 minutes because I've got to speak to this survivor. I've been waiting to speak to her all week. I'll be back. I love you. I'll be back, Instagram.